Welcome to Ghoulish Gab, always spooky, always under 7 minutes. If you've been waiting for this little show to start going off the rails, this might be an episode that you're excited about. So we were thinking about some of the great crossover films that the world has seen. Of course, we haven't had too many of them. Godzilla versus Kong, Freddy versus Jason, Alien versus Predator, and of course, the most popular one, Ginger Dead Man versus Evil Bong.
The best.
The best of them all. But of course, we got to talking about what would be some other wonderful crossovers or on-screen matchups that we would like to see. So I've come up with some weird ones. I'm going to throw them out there, and we're going to see what Kayla thinks. And if she's got any, she'll let me know as well too. So I'm going to start with a practical one that makes sense, and that would be Leprechaun versus Chucky. Now I feel that this could actually work compared to everything else that I put on this list.
It could totally work. Can you imagine the puns?
Oh, God. From both of them.
That's what that would be the punniest movie we've ever seen. But, I mean, I'd watch it. I'd 100% watch it. I'd be excited for it. I do think there's zero chance that Chucky wouldn't lose. That sentence was confusing. Chucky would definitely lose.
So what would have to happen somehow is that the Leprechaun would have to lose his magic so that they could have some sort of epic fist fight, I think, for the film to act, for the conclusion.
Yes, yes, really I agree.
I mean, I could write this script right now. I mean, they could start out where they're working together, and then Chucky crosses the Leprechaun. Blah, blah,
the
blah.
way that Chucky crosses the Leprechaun is that Lovedead never mentions that he has a pot of gold. Chucky finds it and steals it, and then boom, chaos ensues.
That's it. Yeah. Oh, that could be great. So, all right, let's just get into the greatest one I could think of, and that's Cujo versus E.T. And I think I sat there and I was like, I want to see Cujo come back. But I want to see it fight something. And then I start to think, well, what do you have that is in its same league? And it's just werewolves and like other, animal creatures. Nothing works. So I'm like, fuck it. It's either got to be Cujo versus Gage from Pet Sematary or Cujo versus E.T., which I think Cujo versus E.T. How does this work?
I would rather watch Cujo versus Gage.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I could get behind this one, because the thing is I love Cujo and I get behind it, but whenever I watch it, I just feel bad for the dog. I don't care about the child and the mother in the car. I'm just like, that poor dog just was like chasing, I believe it was a rabbit.
Yeah.
In a long time. Either way, the poor dog was just living his doggy life, and now it's rabbit and we're making it the villain?
Yeah.
Bitch, please. Do you got another one for me? Because I did have one in my head.
Oh, yeah. No, go ahead. What do you got?
How would you feel about, and this has popped up a couple of times, so I know I'm not the first person to think of it, Freddy Krueger versus Vecna from Stranger Things.
No, yeah. Okay, I see where you're going there.
Because they both got the dreamland aspect.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I think I'd have to have time to think about how that would work. I mean, it could work, but that would be a much more complicated story than Cujo versus E.T.
E.T., yes. I mean, it's not, that one's not as off the rails and crazy, but I do think it would make a movie that I would enjoy watching.
That could definitely work. So here's another one that could work, and that would either be Hannibal Lecter versus Norman Bates, and then I thought, well, or make it a bit more contemporary and swap Norman Bates out for Patrick Bateman.
Okay. It's okay.
You've got no powers here. You just have two maniacs.
And that's a difficult one because Hannibal is so smart.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that Patrick Bateman's not smart. It's just that he's not that level of smart. I feel like it would be a lot of like mind fuckery and not so much actual violence.
Yeah, yeah. It just how you'd have to set up some sort of story with lots of people to kill, I
All right,
think.
how about this? Pennywise
Okay.
versus the pack of killer clowns from Killer Clowns in Outer Space.
Ooh, that would be good. That would be
Clown on
good.
clown action.
It is. You have one serious property and then one that's not serious. What about the Predator versus the Blob? I'm just going for it here.
Okay, but like
There's
I'm
no,
just imagining how that would work.
it
How would that?
doesn't. It doesn't work.
It's just the predator repeatedly slicing at the blob, and it's like when you try to cut
Yeah.
through like slime, and
You
it just
just,
keeps peeling back together.
it's not a very good fight. I was trying to think of who you could put Audrey 2 up against. And the best I could come up with was the Killer Tomatoes. That would be an insane movie. And then I also tried to think about Cocaine Bear. Like, who could you put Cocaine Bear up against? There's a good
It should have
beast
been
movie.
Cujo versus Cocaine Bear.
See, yeah, I thought that might be too obvious. So that's why I went with Cujo versus E.T. And what about the Seth Brundle version like, against something
Brundlefly versus ET.
versus E.T. The Toxic Avenger versus the Greasy Strangler was the other movie that I actually want to see. Oh, we're already out of time. We could go on. Put in the comments what type of crossovers you would want to see, and who you think would win between E.T. and Cujo, because that's the real question here. Bye.